One man is dead after an overnight shooting in Lexington.
It's normal behavior over here.
Why neighbors say they're not fazed by the sound of gunshots.
This was not a gentle thing. The child was at risk.
The Cincinnati Zoo director is addressing critics why he says his team had to shoot and kill a gorilla to save a little boy.
It's not your typical swim lesson. Our group is teaching children to survive in the water.
This is WKYT News at 6.
Good evening. On this Memorial Day, it's the city's 9th homicide of 2016. Tonight, Lexington police are trying to figure out what led up to a man's death overnight. Police say
they were checking out a report of gunshots when they found 36-year-old Demetrius Henry in a parking lot near Village and Cambridge Drive. He later died at UK Hospital. Caitlin Sentner talked to neighbors who heard the gunshots in our top story at 6.
Oh, damn. Oh, I'm sorry. That's awful. That's terrible. It's really bad.
Barbara McKenzie called police overnight after hearing the ring of gunfire.
There were 4 shots.
But she didn't know she had reported a deadly shooting until we told her Monday morning.
It sounded like it was coming from the street or in the intersection. And I didn't see anybody, so I went back and called 911.
It's not that I'm surprised. It's normal behavior over here.
We've talked to a lot of people up and down Village Drive here, and everyone we talked to said they weren't fazed by the sound of gunshots.
It's an epidemic over here as far as the heroin and the crack use. I mean, it's off the hook over here.
One passerby visibly upset, saying 36-year-old Demetrius Henry lived right around the corner from where he was shot.
Something needs to be done, and we still have these little youth walking around here.
I hope they find who did it.
In Lexington, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
The case has been turned over to homicide investigators. No other information has been released. We have an interactive map of 2016's reported homicides in Lexington on our website. Just go to WKYT.com. Lexington police are also still trying to find the person responsible for a shooting this weekend. Police tell us a man was shot in the head outside Saddle Ridge on South Broadway early Sunday morning. Friends tell us he was trying to break up a fight. He is still at UK Hospital tonight.
We're learning new information tonight about a Lexington family involved in a deadly crash in Texas. 4 members of the Avalar family were killed. 3 others were injured when their van was pushed into the path of an 18-wheeler more than a week ago. Israel Avalar and his 3 sons, Kevin, Daniel, and Matthew, all died. His 11-year-old daughter, Kimberly, was transferred to Kentucky Children's Hospital this week, and his wife, Hilda, is expected to be back in Kentucky tomorrow to begin rehabilitation at Cardinal Hill.
Very difficult to have a family that you've known and loved for 15 years. All of a sudden, 4 of the 7 have died, and the other 3 are still in the hospital.
Pastor Jeff Fugate there from Clays Mill Road Baptist Church tells us that one of the church members is installing ramps at the Avalar's home so they can get into the house when they're released from the hospital.
He says the zoo is still a safe place. Tonight, the director of the Cincinnati Zoo again defended their decision to shoot and kill a gorilla after a little boy fell into the exhibit Saturday. Kristen Kennedy is at the live desk. And Kristen, what did the director have to say to the critics today?
Amber, the director will not place blame on anyone for what happened Saturday. He says if his zookeepers had to do it all again, they would have made the same decision to shoot and kill the gorilla.
Saturday afternoon at the Cincinnati Zoo's gorilla exhibit, Thane Maynard says a 4-year-old boy climbed over a stainless steel barrier through about 15 feet of bushes and into a moat. Maynard says witnesses' cries for help caught the attention of their male gorilla, 17-year-old Harambe. At that point, Maynard says Harambe went down into the water, grabbed the boy, and climbed up out of the moat with him.
There are quotes directly from the Cincinnati Fire Department in their official report. This child was being dragged around. His head was banging on concrete. This was not a gentle thing. The child was at risk.
Maynard's zookeepers, he said, made the right decision to shoot and kill Harambe. It's a decision the Columbus Zoo's Director Emeritus Jack Hanna supports.
It's a millisecond decision. They cannot tranquilize it. It takes 5 to 10 minutes. All of us are sorry. We're all in the zoo world heartfelt for this whole thing. But thank goodness a human being is alive today because of the decision the Cincinnati Zoo made.
Maynard says his team is reevaluating security around the exhibit. At the live desk, Kristen Kennedy, WKYT.
Animal activists held a vigil for the gorilla at the zoo this morning. The family involved is asking for privacy at this time.
The unofficial kickoff to summer is off to, well, a pretty summery start.
Yeah, the toasty temperatures will stick around for a couple of days, but Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey is tracking some changes for us. Hello, Chris.
Hi, guys. Those changes will arrive as the week goes on, and by the end of the week, it may be turning cooler across the region. Now, to get there, we still have some toasty weather to go through over the next couple of days. Look outside, low to mid 80s, most of central and eastern Kentucky, 84 Richmond and London, 85 Lexington to our west. It's a little toastier. Capital City over into parts of Louisville with some upper 80s showing up. Live look, WKYT weather garden in the background and a beautiful sky over top of Lexington. Humidity at 43%. It's down there. Compared to the past several days, does not feel as humid. It's not as humid as it's going to feel in the coming days. Winds have been stirring up the air as well. Overall, can't really complain about the nice weather on this Memorial Day. Southeastern Kentucky, a couple of leftover spotty showers from parts of Knox County into sections of Middlesboro. Notice most of that, though, is creeping now into parts of southwestern Virginia and northern sections of Tennessee. For most of the area, we are dry this evening, right around 70 as we roll toward 11 o'clock with muggy air. That starts to creep back into the picture. And over the next few days, guys, we're going to muggy it up before we change it up. And I'll let you know what those changes mean with that all-important 7-day forecast in a few.
Chris, thank you. Across the nation this Memorial Day, our fallen soldiers are being remembered, but the Kentucky National Guard held its own memorial today, honoring those who died while serving.
And the Guard added 18 names to the Kentucky National Guard Memorial. New at 6, videographer Donnell Crenshaw shows us how these are more than just names on a wall.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, welcome to the Boone National Guard Center Memorial Day service.
We want to honor our fallen, those that we've lost, and we have this Kentucky Guard Memorial outside of Boone Center to do just that.
Lewis Bingham.
We want to, more than anything, recognize their families for their service.
Jonathan D. Rourke.
One of our most recent ones was Sergeant Jonathan Rourke, who was traveling from base to base when he had an accident, unfortunately, and lost his life.
I know Staff Sergeant Jonathan Rourke, who recently passed away last year about this time. I'm glad that he could be remembered this way. This is an excellent monument, excellent memorial. It was a good service today. He was an outstanding soldier, served with me in Iraq. Good to see that my fellow brothers in arms will be remembered for years to come. This is an outstanding memorial, and it's a great tribute to those soldiers who have died.
I also knew Sergeant Daniel Wallace. He served with me in Afghanistan. He was killed October 31st of 2008. What people forget is that they aren't just names. These are people, were live people with that were absolutely full of life, and they were young, and they did things. You talk to them and you interact with them. They were people. I try to equate it as happy, just because if my name was on the swap, how do you want to be remembered? You want a pity party, or do you want to be remembered as being full of life and being celebrated? That's how I would want it, and that's how I hope they'd want it.
This was the second annual Memorial Day service at the Boone National Guard Center. There are more than 150 names now on that wall. One of the largest Memorial Day ceremonies held in Kentucky was at Camp Nelson National Cemetery in Jessamine County. About 1,000 people went to this morning's ceremony, which began with the flyover from 2 Black Hawk helicopters. The Deputy Commissioner of Veterans Affairs, Heather French Henry, was this year's keynote speaker. And Lexington ceremony also held its annual Memorial Day remembrance this morning. And for the first time ever, the Camp Nelson Honor Guard brought out a caisson with the flag that they raised to half staff. There are hundreds of veterans buried there at the cemetery, some dating all the way back even to the Civil War.
Pool Schools are opening up and many folks are heading to the lake now that the weather is warming up. But with that comes the potential for danger. The Consumer Product Safety Commission says 350 children under the age of 5 drown in pools each year. In central Kentucky, there's a program designed to teach even the smallest babies to save themselves. We first introduced you to the story 2 years ago. It continues to thrive, and now more children are learning to survive and being helped because of one mother's loss. In the summer, it's a place for fun, but a routine trip to the pool can turn dangerous in an instant. Believe it or not, at just 13 months old, Ramsey is learning a valuable life-saving lesson. Here at Falling Springs Aquatic Center in Versailles, some of the youngest children are learning how to be safe in the water even before they know how to swim.
These children are learning how to save themselves. That's what's most important for us. But we also want them to have fun in the water and respect it and enjoy it.
At first glance, it may be hard to watch, but Ramsey is taking part in an infant swimming resource lesson.
We show them how to roll back and float, so that is where the air is and they can breathe while they wait on help to come and get them.
It's not your traditional swim lesson. The program is 6 to 8 weeks, designed for children ages 6 months to 6 years. Instruction time is daily for only 10 minutes. While babies learn to float and breathe in the water, older children like Emma have graduated to being able to swim until tiring and then float themselves. Her mom, Angela Whitty, says by no means does this replace supervision, but it is another tool in keeping her children safe.
I wanted my little girls to be able to get in the pool and be safe or be around any body of water, and if there was an accident where they were to fall in, they'd know what to do without me being there.
Whitty's family is just one of nearly a dozen who have been given the opportunity to take part in the ISR program thanks to a scholarship from a Florida mom who knows all too well the tragedy of losing a child to drowning.
About 2.5 years ago, while we were away for the Thanksgiving Day holiday, my son wandered off outside and fell into the intercoastal and didn't make it.
The death of Carrie Morrison's 2-year-old son Jake in 2013 now has Morrison and her husband on a mission to help end childhood drowning.
It's so important, water safety, and how quickly that it can happen, and it can happen to anybody. So it just really is so close to my heart, and I just really want to protect as many children as families as possible.
The Morrisons started the Live Like Jake Foundation to keep their son's memory alive. It raises awareness and provides scholarships to families for ISR instruction.
I was able to go through an application process and tell her a little bit about my girls and why we needed a scholarship.
It's an investment instructors say should be peace of mind for any parent whose child might be near the water this summer.
It's invaluable. Truly, you cannot put a price on the life-saving lessons that they've learned.
Well, these lessons are in no way meant to bypass first lines of protection like supervision, barriers, pool fences, and locked gates. Pricing on ISR lessons can vary. There is an initial one-time registration fee, and then families pay their instructors. For more information on ISR in Central Kentucky and the Live Like Jake Foundation, just go to WKYT.com.
Fayette County's Relay for Life is right around the corner, but participants will see a few changes this year. We'll go over them with you next on WKYT News.
A season pass to Kentucky Kingdom is only $59.95. And with benefits like free parking and dollar drinks, a season pass pays for itself in just one visit. And enjoy the rest of the summer for free. Visit KentuckyKingdom.com or your local Kroger. 8 days left.
When you play Kentucky lottery games like 5-Card Cash, college students all over Kentucky are dealt a winning hand.
Fueling imagination.
Funding education.
Back in 1809, I, Ether McDowell, performed the very first abdominal surgery right here in Danville. And since that time, I've seen generations of medical professionals build upon my work. I've seen awe-inspiring breakthroughs, and I've seen doctors with the ability to cure ailments that even I would have thought impossible. Today, the hospital that bears my name still captures the essence of who I am, and I could not be prouder.
For decades, we've been known as the craft capital of Kentucky.
the city where art is alive. We're not just the place where art's alive. There's a lot more nestled in at the foot of the Appalachians. Trails, scenic lookouts, lakes, waterfalls, you name it. Come to think of it, that's just a different kind of art from a different kind of artist. And it's definitely alive. Berea, Kentucky, where art is alive. Go to visitberea.com for details and directions.
During Sleep Outfitters Memorial Day sale, we give you 3 great reasons to take home a Tempur-Pedic. 1. Find Tempur-Pedic queen sets on a Tempur-Up adjustable base for just $34 a month. 2. Receive a Visa prepaid gift card worth up to $400 with your select Tempur adjustable purchase. 3. Get up to 6 years no-interest financing on many Tempur-Pedic sets. It's 3 great reasons to buy Tempur-Pedic during the Memorial Day sale at Sleep Outfitters.
Taller grass has fewer weeds and needs less water. Mow better, Lexington.
The sensation salad is so good. It's like change your life good. You have your own late night show?
And we are back! We're back with Sarah. Sarah, I'd like you to meet Liam. Liam and his lemur.
Life-changing? Maybe. Indescribably good? Definitely. The Sensation Salad is back. Chicken fingers, crispy wonton strips, Asian slaw, honey sesame sauce, and a veggie egg roll. Only at Zaxby's.
Stay connected to the news that matters to you. WKYT.
America's most anticipated coaster. Storm Chaser, our 5th coaster, only at Kentucky Kingdom. Because all that really matters is the thrill.
Keep up with the latest news on WKYT.com. Join the conversation on Twitter and become a part of the WKYT Facebook family.
Welcome back. This weekend, you can see a free concert and help fight cancer at the same time.
Pretty good deal. The American Cancer Society will hold its Relay for Life Festival of Hope. The event is switching from overnight to starting at 4 Saturday afternoon and running until midnight. Activities include a free concert by Sunday Best. Admission is free, but it's $5 to park.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Could not have planned the weather any better than how it's turning out on this Memorial Day. Plenty of toasty temperatures, sunshine, and overall just great weather as we wrap up this long holiday weekend for a lot of folks. And on this Memorial Day, heading into the evening, it's more of the same. Live look outside. We take you across 9 different locations from the E-Town and Louisville area all the way into far eastern Kentucky, into Jenkins with sunshine, Moorhead sunshine, everybody into the low and mid 80s this afternoon. A little warmer from Frankfort over to Louisville with some upper 80s that are currently showing up. Where are we going from here? Well, the steamy temperatures will continue for a few more days. A cold front moves in later this week and big changes will follow that front. Short term, Defender Radar Network, little isolated stuff southeastern Kentucky getting on out of town. Nothing to really worry about. No moisture is increasing again to our west. That'll roll in here over the next few days. First, tomorrow you'll notice the humidity is returning just a bit, so it'll feel more muggy tomorrow. Many of us into the mid and, dare I say, some upper 80s. Slight chance for a shower or a thunderstorm. 3-day muggy meter showing how the humidity does creep back into the picture. And once we get into the oppressive category again Wednesday and Thursday, we'll juice it up, and that's going to lead to some scattered thunderstorms during that time. New hour-by-hour forecast is in for the evening. It keeps us on the dry side. Right on into tomorrow morning, touch of fog is possible. Noon tomorrow. Low 80s, and with a little more humidity into the mix, I could see an isolated shower thunderstorm. 99.9% of us will stay dry through tomorrow evening. Now we go into Wednesday. Temperatures are back into the mid and maybe upper 80s, but look what happens as we get into the afternoon. Threat for some showers and some thunderstorms, and that's how we start out your Thursday. And it is later Thursday that we're likely to see a better chance for some boomers going up into much of the region. So as we plan ahead, we look at that 7-day forecast for the day tomorrow, 86 degrees, isolated. Wednesday, a little better chance, although most areas still should remain rain-free. 40%, will bump that up to 60% with showers and some thunderstorms. I don't think it's going to rain all day Thursday. That'll likely carry us into Friday, and at least the chances into the weekend as the temperatures start to come down a little bit. Jet stream's going to take a big dip across the eastern part of the country. First full week of June will likely feature temperatures that will be cooler than normal.
Be nice to get back to those 70s.
Yeah, 70s are really good, especially once you actually get into summertime. But there are some folks out there that love days like this with the 80s and the heat. I don't see a lot of heat coming up over the next couple of weeks, though.
Not going to complain either way. How about that?
Not at all. We'll take it.
I got you.
Lee K is in next with sports, and it's a busy day for baseball here in Kentucky.
It is. Region tournaments are underway across the Bluegrass states. One of the most anticipated games of the day was between Lexington Catholic and Madison Central. And I got to tell you guys, it lived up to its billing. Those highlights are next in sports.
Get WKYT news and weather updates on Mix 94.5.
Hey y'all, I'm Denise.
I'm Crystal.
I'm Jamie. Enjoy our show.
See more of our show and start enjoying yours at visitmo.com.
Do you want to lose weight quickly and safely? Do you want to be healthy for a lifetime? Kim did and lost 238 pounds at Ageless Medical Weight Loss. Betty did and lost 135 pounds. The Ageless program is a medically supervised, affordable weight loss solution. Call today for a free consultation.
Guys, I know wait! Yeah, wait! We can finally stop playing these wedding gigs and start rocking out! Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you got that ticket in the same place, bro!
Oh, it was Ronnie starting to get the ticket.
No, Ronnie. We let Ronnie go last week.
The only way you can win Kentucky's Powerball or Mega Millions jackpot is if you actually buy your ticket.
Ronnie!
How do you craft the world's finest bed? It starts with luxurious materials, with attention to every detail. For quality you can feel, the same quality you've come to expect at Sleep Outfitters, where now you can save up to $600 on select Stearns & Foster mattresses. Plus, get 0% APR financing for 60 months. When you lie down on a Stearns & Foster bed, you'll appreciate everything we've put in, making it that much harder to get out. Stearns & Foster, available at Sleep Outfitters.
DQ funnel cake a la mode? Hold on! Coming through!
For the next hours. Cloudy tomorrow.
Funnel cake has a new home. The DQ Bakes new funnel cake a la mode with the world-famous DQ soft serve and your favorite topping. This is fan food, not fast food.
Funnel cake a la mode.
What we do is not about sickness. It's about living. Because you were made to live, and live well. Let us show you how care is supposed to be. Lexington Clinic, your doctors for life.
Days like this are getting harder to find. We're long on life, but short on time. When I get a chance to kick back and unwind, I live for Myrtle Beach days. Myrtle Beach days got blue in the sky, not a care in the air, ocean breeze blowing by, just sitting on the sand, soaking up the sunshine. I live for Myrtle Beach days.
I'm Ian.
I'm Christina.
Enjoy our show. See more of our show and start enjoying yours at visitmo.com.
Kentucky's baseball team will not have a chance at a postseason run despite a 15-15 SEC record. The Wildcats were left out of the NCAA tournament when the field of 64 was announced today. Kentucky started out league play hot by sweeping the then #1 Florida Gators. The Wildcats also got a sweep of second-ranked South Carolina earlier this month, but the Cats won just 2 of their last 6 weekend series, and a first-round exit in the SEC tournament has proven to be costly strikes to their postseason resume. This is the second straight season UK has been left out of the postseason. For many area high schoolers, summer is underway and seniors have walked the graduation stage, but for a select few, the high school baseball season continues. Region tournament play begins on this Memorial Day, and a good one in the 11th region between two of the top teams in the state. Lexington Catholic and Madison Central, only one could advance. Central had a 3-2 lead in the fourth. Andy Thompson lays down the perfect bunt. The pitcher slips, can't make the play at first. Stephen Bender and Bo Bennington come in to score to give the Catholic the 4-3 lead. Now 5-3 in the fourth. Josh Wright with the single up the middle for Madison Central to bring home Seth Richardson. Cuts the Catholic lead to 1 run. Central, well, they had their rally rhino at full attention. Same score in the seventh, down to their final out. Pitch hitter, Adam Ritchie comes through with the single. Look at that, he's called safe at first. Joseph Holbrook scores, ties the game at 5-5, and we're headed for some free baseball. In the top of the eighth, Catholic's Dan Mueller doubles through the right side. Trent Newer is on his horse. That's what I would sound like if I was running. Headed for home, there's going to be a play at the plate, and he's safe. Just under the tag. Knights regain the 6-5 lead, and Lexington Catholic wins a wild one, 6-5, to advance the region semifinals.
I mean, there's two quality programs. Coach Root does a fantastic job. That's just 11th region baseball. You keep fighting, and, like we said in the district, you get punched in the face, you got to punch back, and, that's just what you play the game for. It's the best part of the year.
Other scores from the 11th region: Scott County defeats Franklin County 8-3. The host school Lafayette taking on Henry Clay. This one just going to the second inning, still scoreless. The nightcap is between Western Hills and Madison Southern. Early scores from the 10th region: Scott High blanks Mason County 2-0, and Harrison County, the Fighting Amber Philpotts, edges Montgomery County 4-3. Reds attempting to tap the Rockies in Colorado. Game one of a road series, and Zach Cozart wasting no time putting the Reds on the board. That's a leadoff home run on the first pitch of the game off of Chad Bettis, a guy actually covered in college, to make it 1-0. Rockies had a 3-1 lead in the third with the bases juiced for Daniel Descalso, and he doubles to right to clear the bases. Rockies would take a 5-1 lead, but the Reds, well, they would rally in the fourth inning. Don't see that very often. Down 5-3. Joey Votto, with the bases loaded, sends the offering to deep center, bounces over the wall for a 2-run double to tie the score at 5-5. And currently the score in the fifth, the Reds have a 6-5 advantage. Sean, Amber, we'll send it back to you.
Okay, thank you. Final check of your First Alert forecast is next.
Then on the CBS Evening News, they are the best at sniffing out bombs, but are there enough to protect every airport?
WKYT's First Alert Weather follows you wherever you go, on TV, online, on your phone, and throughout the day on News Radio WLAP.
Come celebrate National Barbecue Month with all-you-can-eat St. Louis ribs at Sonny's Barbecue. An endless helping of sweet and smoky or dry rub ribs for just $14.99 for a limited time. Sonny's Barbecue, local pit masters since '68.
There's people who care where I'm going, and good friends who welcome me home. So get a full tank of freedom, drive the American road. And with a full tank of freedom, find your own highway. We'll take you wherever you go. Take you wherever you go.
Hi, I'm Mackenzie Gates. This Memorial Day weekend at Toyota South, you can lease a new 2016 Camry for only $180 a month for 36 months. Or get 0% 72-month financing. We have factory fresh new 2016 Tacomas, Tundras, Highlanders, and RAV4s in stock. And during May, Toyota South will donate a new bicycle to the Kentucky Foster Adoptive Child Association with every new Toyota purchase. Toyota South is on the bypass in Richmond.
CareSource insures thousands of members in Kentucky, but we're not built on numbers. We're built on compassion and care. Our commitment? People over profit. CareSource. Caring for the Commonwealth.
Come see what's new at Signature Furniture. You'll find incredible leather furniture from Flex Steel, America's seating specialist. If fabric sofas are more your style, you'll love the beautifully crafted pieces from which to choose. Spend more time with the family with these inviting living rooms, or make plans for everyone to gather around this beautiful dining room and get the rest you need in one of these relaxing bedrooms. That's Signature Furniture on Nicholasville Road across from Zandel Shopping Center. What's your signature?
Here's a fun way to control your luck. It's a game called Keno. You can start with $1. You pick your numbers, your odds, and your wager. And the winnings, well, they could be major. Just pick your numbers and hope you win. A few minutes later, you can play it again. Now play Keno wherever Kentucky Lottery games are sold.
Who says mornings can't be happy? Not us. Introducing the DQ Hardest Working Happy Hour, with drinks that work even harder than you do, blending sweet flavors like never before. Only DQ has drinks that multitask in the morning even if you can't. Like $2 premium fruit smoothies, $2 ultimate frappes, and $1 iced coffees. Every weekday morning until 10:30 a.m. at your DQ. This is fan food, not fast food.
Taller grass has fewer weeds and needs less water. Mow better, Lexington.
All right. It is Memorial Day night.
Yeah.
Great night. A lot of people are going to be grilling out. Baseball still going on.
Or some of us doing laps around the station just to get outside.
Or that.
Yeah, we look outside over the next few days. Hey, if you like today's temperatures, you're going to love Tuesday, Wednesday, back into the mid-80s. Better chance for a thunderstorm late Wednesday into Thursday over that 7-day forecast. Notice the temperatures start to trend down, especially this weekend and early next week.
I'm more interested in these laps around the station. That's what
Join me, all right? We're starting it out
Happens
here.
every night.
7:30.
It's the WKYT Health segment.
There you
right?
go. Wave as you're passing us on Winchester Road, all right?
CBS Evening News with Scott Pelley is next. We'll see you back here at 11.
Thanks so much for joining us. Happy Memorial Day.